I don't have my map in front of me at the moment. That is to note that this account, as it's broken out here, does not include the salaries of the full-time employees that are employed there, salaries or benefits. So I do want to point that out to you.
So this is our largest source of revenue as far as programming goes in these and
This is comparable to dance. I would say they're very close. I think dance is about 72, this is about 80.
Can I ask about the boarding? Are we doing anything actively to increase? I mean, I was there, I visited there for the first time this week.
Oh, good.
It's a beautiful facility, although now we have houses right up against us.
Well, they were there when we got it, so.
Well, actually, they just built a new one right up against the fence. So anyway, but I noticed, I mean, so many of the stalls are empty. And I'm wondering, you know, we have room for more boarders. Are we doing active things to bring in more boarders?
Well, one thing we do have in place is dry stall boarding versus full stall boarding. I'm not sure what time of the day you were there, whether there were horses on turnout or not.
There were a few
out there.
horses,
Okay.
like one in each of the corrals.
Okay. For our dry stall boarding, we have one stall that stays empty for 3 stalls boarded as a storage stall, and that was incorporated into the cost of our dry stall. So some of those stalls will remain empty for our dry stall boarders. And when we utilize the dry stall boarding, we do not take into account having to buy hay for them, having to buy grain for them. All they get for the dry stall is the opportunity to have a stall with a stall mat. They take care of their own horse, they provide for their own animal as well. We provide the roof over their head, is basically what we do for that. So we don't have the same type of overhead, or we have the overhead, but not the same kind of direct cost for the staffing.
So
and
my
such.
perception that we had a lot of
That we have a lot of
is
empty
probably
stalls
not
may
true.
not have been.
Okay.
I think
Well, that's good.
I don't know as of today what the empty stalls are. I did not check with Amanda as of today. I would say they kind of come and go, and that can be on a weekly basis. I think we have room right now, off the top of my head, for 3 to 4 to come in, and that depends on whether they're full stall or dry stall.
Earlier in the year, back in January, February, we were at full capacity at one point, and then, like Michelle said, that fluctuates there. Once again, at full capacity, there still will be open stalls just by the amount of acreage we have to work with to turn out horses, et cetera, and keep it at a high response.
The other special revenue facility that we do have within the recreation fund now is the Ottawa Street Pool. This was moved within the fund. This will be the first full year. And as you can see, this is a facility that is not a revenue producer for the district. Lessons are revenue producing, but when you take into account all of the overhead and administrative costs for the pool, as well as the maintenance costs for that facility, because of the age of it, this year, as I said, we are including painting the pool. That's included $6,000, if I'm not mistaken, is what was included for the pool. However, if we were to have done that out of house with the contractor, it would have been 15 to 19, I think was what was looked at. So we are trying to save money where we can. One thing that I have asked staff to look at is we had looked at some alternative programming at the pool, and those numbers were not included in the budget. So please note that this is a draft, and I do have hopes that we will have some of those numbers included. The last section of the recreation budget is definitely not the least of the recreation budget, because it is what gets the word out about our park district. It is not a revenue producing area of the district, but it is a section of the district and of this fund that is very important to get the word out. Currently, we're projecting the revenue between the advertising and sponsorships to be at 25.5. That's a number that we felt we're going to attain that number. Our hope is to exceed that number based on the sponsorships, and as well as gaining more advertisers within our brochure or any of the other areas within the district. The expenses within the marketing and communications area of the rec fund are primarily due to the brochure printing and distribution. That is a huge expense for the district, but as we have seen in past surveys, in the current master plan survey, the brochure is where people learn about this district. It's where they learn about the programming. It's where they get their consistent information from regarding the district. So to do away with that would not, in my opinion, be a very good idea, because it's the one thing that people have in their hands. We utilize website and social media, and some of a very small amount of the advertising dollars we're hoping to use within social media to help broaden our reach within that realm.
I did notice that the delivery cost on a brochure was quite high. I think it was like 18,000. But are we doing that in-house? I was under the impression that we had like staffers delivering them, but
No.
who's actually doing that?
It's a contracted service that's utilized for door-to-door delivery. It's actually much more cost-effective than utilizing the post office.
It's probably 13 cents per brochure per household. So, so Chicago land circulation is much cheaper than the post office, where the post office would be probably about 75 cents per household, where they personally bag and deliver to the driveway of each house or apartments in Plainfield and the surrounding areas that we touch upon. So it's probably the cheapest route to go. It is the cheapest route to go in the area.
One of the things, just to point out, that after coming back from a national conference, I think I pointed out in my memo, is private sector standard is 15 to 20% of your budget is for marketing to help produce more revenue. We're operating with about 1.5% of our overall corporate rec budget alone goes towards our marketing efforts. So in the public sector, we don't put the same volume of our expenditures in the marketing the way the public sector does, but we're still operating at what we can at a high effective rate, with keeping it as low of a cost as possible at almost 1.5% of the corporate marketing budgets.
With that, if you have any questions.
Questions for you? Next month, we would have the entire draft ready for presentation, and then it will it will be open to review for 30 days for January adoption.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, I just wanted to let everyone know that as terrible as it sounds, there is actually a worse band of weather coming our way with severe storm warnings attached to it. So all the high school students that are here, there's a little break in the weather right now. If you need paper signed. Oh, I'm just having a sign. So as soon as we get the next agenda item, if you want to come up and get paper signed and get out of here.
The rest of you, you had a good run.
So before we do that, we're going to go to.
I can start signing some.
You guys want to catch papers up and she'll sign them for you? Because then you guys can split while the weather's good.
Anybody need papers?
They got some, I think.
January 2015, when we did
There you
our
go.
bond
I'm sorry, I don't have a board.
a bond issuance.
Yep.
We had with the bond adopted a bond record keeping policy that the policy establishes due diligence practices and sets personnel responsibility so you and your successors can find what you need should the IRS contact the district. This was issued out a few years back that any further bond issuance happening need to be include this policy, and then we have the compliance letter in your packet so you have it for review.
Okay.
Director of Finance.
Okay, so they're getting their paper signed, so we don't. Okay. Item C, closed session minutes is the next item.
We had talked last month about about adopting our closed session minutes and only going to closed session to talk about that. Now, even though we're going to closed session tonight, we're going to start to practice just to get in the habit that this way we don't constantly have to go to closed session. So what we're presenting with you is last month's closed session minutes. Unless there's any issue in which we need to go into closed session to discuss, you can just make a motion here to adopt them and then adopt them and keep them closed at this point, unless we need to have discussion on that. If you feel you need a discussion, we just need to move that into closed session then.
Is there a motion that the Park Board of Commissioners approve the October 14, 2015 closed session minutes? And that they remain closed?
I so move.
A second?
Okay, a motion was made by Commissioner Polling and seconded by Commissioner Ayers. No discussion, so roll call.
If we want to discuss,
Yeah, you
I don't
need
know.
to-
We're acting on a motion for the business. Okay, all right.
You can have it in new business.
Poland,
Yes?
Ayers,
Yes.
Hurtado, Casbar,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Steiny,
Yes.
Ludeman,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, board initiatives. No homework. So the next item is commissioner comments. Commissioner Ayers, do you have any comments? Commissioner Hurtado? Commissioner Casbar?
No.
Commissioner Newton? Commissioner Poland?
Yes. I just wanted to say, in learning about I was gonna say senior active adult programming, that Kathy and her staff have done a wonderful job this year, being such an integral part of it as I've been, and to be able to see how the programs have grown. The advances we've made are just incredible in terms of the people coming into this building. And the event last night was really special. And while Kathy talked about the numbers and how they're improving and the kinds of things we're doing, it's the lives that are touched by these programs that are really special. I mean, you have these seniors who are isolated, who are newly retired and don't quite know what to do, who have losses in their lives of spouses, and their lives are changed dramatically. And last night, there were so many people in tears listening to this wonderful performance. And you're just struck with how wonderful it is. And what, for me, was particularly serendipitous was afterwards, it was a barbershop chorus men's. There were like 40 people in the choir, in this chorus. And the voices were wonderful, and they were so expressive. But there was one barbershop quartet that couldn't be there. They came late. And as people were leaving, they were spontaneously, what do I say, in a sort of flirtatious way, serenading some of these older women. And it was just wonderful. It was just such a wonderful, spontaneous moment. That's what I sort of wanted to show you in this little video, but it was great. It was really great.
Thank you. Commissioner Stiles?
No comment.
And then all I wanted to say was thank you to all the veterans for Veterans Day, and thank you for all the great presentations tonight. They were very informative, so I appreciate that from everyone. At this moment, I would like to seek a motion to go into executive session as permitted under the Open Meetings Act, under 5 ILCS 122C2, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, and 5 ILCS 122C5, the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body. Is there a motion?
Second.
A motion was made by Commissioner Hurtado and seconded by Commissioner Steines at 7:45 p.m. Roll call.
Hurtado,
Yes.
Steiny,
Yes.
Ayers,
Yes.
Casbar,
Yes.
Newton,
Yes.
Poland,
Yes.
Ludeman,
Yes.
motion carries.